Tonight on KGW News, thieves who pose as repairmen.
And it was just like, what? Like, this mind-boggling,
What they've managed to cart off from several local stores. Plus,
he was going to town on everybody, just like randomly.
A man is suspected in as many as 10 stabbings in Seattle. Tonight, video of the crime that finally got him caught.
And later, he was the radio voice of the Blazers for over 2 decades.
Gerald on the move, throws to Roy, a three-pointer near side, count it!
As tonight, Rip City remembers longtime announcer Brian Wheeler. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Christine Pitawanich. Portland has been quiet in the days after the election with no large-scale violent demonstrations, but some people did show up at City Hall to peacefully protest tonight.
Alma McCarty talked to folks who turned out. So Alma, what was the main message from organizers?
Yeah, David, Christine, though they condemned Donald Trump's return to the White House following Tuesday's election, organizers here said that this rally, which was planned ahead of the results coming in, they basically said that this highlights a need for real change, no matter the party in office. Outside City Hall and 3 days post-election,
what do we do?
Members of local grassroots organizations rallied for what they say would be meaningful change.
We are here because we've been fighting for years for health, housing, and education, and whether it was Trump or Biden before this, we haven't been getting it, and we're wanting to push to actually get that realized.
The solution is not more war and more aggression and more xenophobia, right? It's also not more like criminalizing of migrants or people here. It is actually looking at the problems people are facing every day and finding solutions to that.
Problems, they say, like rising inflation and rising costs of rent and food.
So many of us are really bearing the brunt of the economic crisis. We're living paycheck to paycheck. We can't, face the increased rent, struggling to put food on the table. And so we're really here to voice that neither the Republican or Democratic Party is the solution to our problems. It's really organizing together as people power. Money for health and education!
Not for war and occupation!
Before the former president takes office once again, demonstrators vowed to keep resisting, pushing to end war, repression, and genocide.
I have hope because we say when we rally that the people united will never be defeated.
We can really make the world, and we have to stop relying on these, politicians to step in and save us.
Now, this rally ended around 6 o'clock this evening, and since then, as you guys mentioned off the top of the show, it's been very quiet here downtown and really around this area. However, we have seen quite the police presence throughout the afternoon and into the evening hours as they monitored this event. David, Christine, back to you.
Yeah, hoping protests continue to remain peaceful. Thank you, Alma. Well, the presidential election is on a lot of people's minds tonight, of course, as is the balance of power in D.C. This is what it looks like right now. In the House, control of the chamber means reaching the magic number of 218. Right now, as you can see, Republicans have the edge here. The Senate staying at 53 to Democrats 45. Here in Oregon and Southwest Washington, Democrats are projected to win both of the closely watched toss-up congressional races. That's according to the Oregonian.
Janelle Bynum was projected to win Oregon's 5th district earlier today, defeating Republican incumbent Lori Chavez-DeRemer. Bynum is set to become the first black member of the state's congressional delegation and is pledging to represent all constituents, no matter their party affiliation.
When they have enough money and they're not choosing between their medical bills and food, it's the economy. And so when we're talking about lowering prices and we're talking about making sure that we have competitive markets, those are the priorities that I have for Oregonians.
Well, we reached out to Congresswoman Chavez-DeRemer for comment after the Oregonian projected she would lose her seat. So far, we have not heard back. By the way, you can find a full list of election results up now on KGW.com. Hey, we're still watching for calls in 10 out of the 12 Portland City Council seats, along with position 4 on the Clackamas County Commission. We will keep you updated as the final ballots are counted. Developing this evening in Seattle, a suspect is in custody who could be connected to as many as 10 stabbings over the last couple of days.
A warning, the video you're about to see may be tough to watch. The latest attack was today in the Chinatown International District, injuring 5 people. You can see what appears to be the suspect walk up to a group, swing their arm back, then one person collapses. 4 of the people stabbed were hospitalized in critical condition. The 5th was treated at the scene.
He was going to town on everybody, just like randomly. It's the first, any person he's seen, he just randomly just starts sticking them.
Police are still investigating and say the suspect may be the same person wanted in 5 other stabbings that happened yesterday. Now to an unusual string of thefts involving what appears to be a pair of criminals disguised as a repair crew.
Their target? Bitcoin machines. Catherine Cook shows us how authorities say they have managed to steal at least 3.
Wednesday afternoon at the St. John's Deli and Grocery.
I mean, it was pretty slammed. We had like 5 people, like in line.
Ashwin Chaitri was working the registers when he noticed this work crew tending to a Bitcoin machine.
I thought it was unusual, but I was just like, maybe, it's been like acting up.
Ashwin's dad owns the store, so he figured he'd set up the call. He says the work crew even phoned ahead to say they were running late. The pair unbolted the machine, put it on a hand truck, and even vacuumed. They also handed Ashwin this invoice for their work. All of it, turns out, part of an elaborate scheme.
And I was like, okay, seemed legit. But then the next morning, I come to find out that they actually came to steal the machine from us.
Ashwin says there was about $400 inside. Customers use the machine to buy Bitcoin or send money. The store doesn't own it, but they rent the space to the company that does, Dynamic Exchange Network.
We called the company and we were like, hey, what's going on? Like, why is the device not here? And they're like, what are you talking about? We never sent anybody out.
Security video shows the crooks loading the Bitcoin machine into a silver Dodge Ram. The license plate number starts with 050. The company that owns those Bitcoin machines says last month, crooks hit this Jubit's truck stop on North Vancouver Way. Same MO. Security images show what appears to be the same suspects, a man and a woman, same hair, uniforms, and even shoes. You can see the bolts left behind after the crooks got away with this one. A rep with Dynamic Exchange Network tells us they look like the same people who stole a 3rd Bitcoin machine, this one from a service station in Albany. They left this phony invoice with store employees there.
Because I don't want to see this repeating.
Ashwin wants everyone to know about these guys, what they look like, what they're doing, and why they need to stop.
How low can you go to steal from a business that's trying to survive in the world,
In North Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
New tonight, we have got some sad news. Brian Wheeler, the man who spent decades as the radio voice for the Portland Trailblazers, has died.
Known as Wheels to fans, he took over as the Rip City Radio play-by-play announcer in 1998, filling the very big shoes of Bill Schonely. Wheeler was on the mic through the Jailblazers era, the Brandon Roy years, as well as the rise of Dame Time. He stepped away in 2019 for health reasons. Tonight, we talked to his on-air successor who called Wheeler a mentor.
And really went out of his way to help me put on the best broadcast that I could, because the listeners deserved it, the fans deserved it, and the broadcast itself deserved it. And that's the kind of person he was. And I think about those things and how generous he was as a man. And, the world lost a great man today.
Travis Demers also saying that Wheeler would still listen to every game, even though he was no longer announcing. Brian Wheeler was 62 years old.